It's what I wanted to do my whole life. I mean, ever since I was a little kid, I wanted to be a makeup artist and work in the movies and make monsters. And I pinch myself every day that like my dream came true, and that's what I get paid to do. It was my hobby as a kid. I used to make monsters. My bedroom was my makeup laboratory, and I slept in the midst of monsters and toxic chemicals. I was born in 1950, the first generation of people who grew up in front of a TV. They had a horror show host, and they would show monster movies. They had this, what they called the shock theater package. It was Universal monster movies. I just really was attracted to those things. I mean, the classic horror films, Frankenstein, Dracula, the Wolfman, you felt for the monsters. I wasn't ever afraid of them. I really felt sympathy for them. My dad was a very creative man and quite a good painter, and he knew a little bit about sculpture and mold making, and enough to get me started. I met John Landis and did this film called Schlock, and when I did Schlock, John Landis had already written American Werewolf in London, and he told me the whole story. And he goes, I want you to do the makeup, and he goes, I want to do a transformation in this film in a way that it's never been done. He goes, we both loved The Wolfman and Jekyll and Hyde movies. He goes, it just doesn't make sense to me that, like when Lon Chaney Jr. changes into Wolfman, he sits in a chair. I mean, they would do, he would be in a chair like this and just be perfectly still and change into a werewolf. And the reason was the technique that they used in those days is they put a little bit of makeup on him, they filmed him, they put a little bit more makeup on him, they filmed him, and they did a lap dissolve, and they would dissolve from the one shot to the next to the next. So every time he changed, he'd be in a slightly different position, like this, but still trying to be, still. And John's thinking was, John said, to me, if you were changing into a werewolf, you wouldn't be still, you would be all over the place, and it would be painful. He goes, I want to show the pain, and I want the guy to be able to move, so you got to figure out a way how to do this. Makeup, the kind of makeup that I was doing started becoming more in the public eye, and the Academy decided to have a makeup category, and it was the year that I did American Werewolf, and I got this letter that I was going to be nominated for an Oscar.
Can you name the movies that you won Oscars on?
The first one was American Werewolf in London. I got one for a film called Harry and the Hendersons, Men in Black, I'm not sure the correct order, Nutty Professor, where I made Eddie Murphy and all those characters and overweight characters. Ed Wood, when I did Martin Landau as Bela Lugosi. How many is that? What am I forgetting? How the Grinch Stole Christmas. The Wolfman. Is that 7 of them?
I lost count.
Yeah, I lost count too. Something like that. I got a call from John Landis, and he goes, Michael Jackson wants to do a music video, but he doesn't want it to be a music video. He wants it to be a short film. Based on his song Thriller. He goes, he's a real fan of American Werewolf and he wants to turn into a werewolf. And I said, I don't know, it doesn't seem like he'd be a good candidate to be putting a makeup like that on a pop star like that, And John said, I'm going to send you the tape and you listen to the tape and get some ideas, And so he sends me a tape of Thriller and I listened to it, and I had it on it was a cassette tape at the time, and I had 2 different cassette things, and I was listening to it one and talking into the other one, and I was saying, I think we should do, we should have some zombies, and they should dance, and we should, we should have one come out of a manhole. Kept coming up with all these crazy ideas, and then I pitched all this stuff to John, which he really liked, and then we went to Michael's house and pitched it, and 3 days before we filmed, when the dancers were cast, we had these boxes of stuff, and a dancer would come in, and I go, okay, you're a medium female, so that's your appliance, and you should be blue, and here, I'm going to put this stuff in here, we're going to shove this in your mouth, and here's your teeth. Okay, there's one, And when we filmed the dance, and I actually stood there and watched the Thriller dance for the first time, I saw it, basically before anybody. I went, I'm witnessing something here, this is pretty cool. The thing that I'm most proud of is that I've actually made it and be able to, then turn my hobby into a living and get awards and stuff for just doing something that I love, And I'm proud that I've kind of changed the way makeup's done a lot, and made my mark in the industry.